Mr. Tom Big Al Schreiter.
Okay, let's go to work. So you are the leaders, the people that are going to make this thing grow, right? Yes. Now we need three things if we're going to be successful in this career, and all three are important. If you miss one, you might want to keep your day job. So the first thing is you need a pretty good attitude, right? And just think about that like wheels on a car. If you don't have any wheels on the car, you're not going to go anywhere. So how many people here have a good attitude? Yeah, you're here, right? So that qualifies. You all have good attitudes. Could it be better? Oh yeah, it could be better, but it's enough to drive the car. The second thing you need, and they've talked about it, is motivation, right? Motivation is like the engine of the car, so you have some power to go somewhere. How many people here are motivated? All right, so we got that one under control. Check that one off. And the third thing we need is a set of skills to make this business work. It's like the steering wheel and clutch making the car drive. Would you agree you need all three? You can have the wheels, you can have the engine, but if you don't know how to drive the car, you're dead. And if you have skills but no wheels, it doesn't matter. So all three. Now, I'm not here to talk about your attitude. You all have a good attitude. I'm not here to talk about your motivation because you're excited because you are here today on this special day. But the third thing I'm here to talk about, and that is the skills. And if you don't learn the skills, well, you won't be a very good doctor, would you? Would you want to visit a doctor with no skills? Get on an airplane where the pilot just was motivated but didn't know how to fly? And do you think people will want to join you if you don't have any skills in this business? But if you had good skills, people would be attracted to you, and it'd make your sponsoring so much easier. So let's start with a simple little skill that probably nags you the most and show you the difference saying good things versus bad things and no skills. So here in the Philippines, when you talk to people, do everybody make up their mind right away, say yes or no, or do some of them do this? Oh, I got to think it over. I got to talk it over with my friends. It's a big thing. I'll get back to you. Call me later. How many people have heard that one? So if you don't have any skills, here's what you do. You go home and you say to your spouse, well, I tried, but they just wouldn't make up their mind. I hope the banker understands. I hope, we can buy food. It's not good, is it? We need skills. So could we do a little of experiment? Everybody here is sitting next to somebody that will still talk to you, right? So grab the hand of somebody next to you. See, some of you are grabbing three. All right. Now, you have a partner. One partner is going to have to be the smart partner. Which one's that going to be? There's only two people voting. All right. By a show of hands, who got elected to be the smart partner? Raise your hand if you're the smart partner. Okay, that means that the other person will have to be the good-looking partner. Now, well, by the sounds of that, it's more important to be good-looking than smart. So here's what we're going to do. The good-looking partner is going to be the prospect. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to say, well, it sounds good, but I got to think it over. And, I don't know, these big decisions. I'll get back to you over the holidays. Which holidays? Christmas 2025. I'll get back to you. All right. And the smart partner is going to be the distributor, right? And after they say, I need to think it over, you're going to have to say something. You could say something like, well, I give up, I go home. That's not a good one. But you're going to have to say something, right? So you all ready? Would all the good-looking partners do the dramatic pose, oh, I got to think it over. And let's see what their answer is. Let's begin. Well, let's see how that one went. Let me ask you, how did that go? How many people here would like to improve your answer a lot? Or let me put it this way. Based upon your answer that you gave, how much should the company be paying you? Now it's really quiet. So we need to improve. But here's the problem. The prospect is thinking this. Okay, I'm afraid to make a decision. I don't want to make a decision because what if something doesn't work out or it's wrong or I lose money? Does that sound reasonable? And they have been trained not to make a decision by their job. In their job, if they make a decision, they don't get a raise. They just keep their job. But if they make a decision that's bad, what happens? They lose their job. So people have been trained to put off and delay making decisions as long as possible. And that doesn't help us, does it? We spent time and money to go visit them. We need to have them make a decision. So the first thing to understand is, when people don't make a decision, they've actually made a decision, haven't they? I'll give you an example. I stand out on Edsa Road in the middle of the traffic, and the cars are coming at me really fast, and I say, do I run to the right really quick, or do I run to the left really quick before they all come and hit me? And I say, well, let me think it over. I have made a decision, haven't I? I've made a decision to be roadkill, splat. Try this. I'm eating ice cream. And eating ice cream, and people say, do you want to diet? Do you want to start losing weight? And I'm thinking, let me put off that decision for a while. I've made a decision, haven't I? I've made a decision to be fat. The problem is they don't realize that when they don't make a decision, they've actually made a decision. So when they put off joining your business, they've actually made a decision to stay at their job and stay in low levels of misery for the rest of their life. So our job as professionals, skilled professionals in this business, is to let them know. We don't have to force them or anything. We just have to let them know that no decision is really a no decision, that they decided not to do it. And there's an easy way of saying it. You could say this. You can make a decision to join our business and start making some money for your family. Or you can make a decision tonight not to join our business and keep things the way they are. And now they have to make a decision, don't they? They always did before, but they didn't realize it. So the easiest way to do this is say, hey, you can make a decision to take C24/7 and be healthier and live longer. Or you can make a decision not to take it and save a lot of money by just dying quicker. All right? That was pretty easy, wasn't it? So you can make a decision tonight not to join. And to continue spending 2 hours on the road every day just to get to your job to begin to work, and 2 hours on the road every night coming home just to get back home so you could do it all over again for the rest of your life until you're 65 and then they let you die. Or you can get your kit tonight, get started so we can change that so maybe next year you can be home with your family. Or you can make a decision to start drinking our healthy coffee. Actually have your coffee make you healthier every day when you drink it. Or you can make a decision to drink the ordinary coffee and take little sips of death every day. Are these medical claims? Or you can make a decision to buy commercial toothpaste, which is loaded with chemicals, and stick those chemicals inside your children's mouth every time they brush their teeth. Or you can make a decision to spend a few pesos more and get a more natural toothpaste so it'll actually be good for your children. Now, how many people here have kind of figured out this is not too hard? So closing, when somebody says, oh, I need to think it over, hey, they're amateurs. We're the professionals. We not worry about that because we can have them make a decision. And if they make a decision to not be healthy, or they make a decision to rather be overweight or die early or not have any money, that's their choice. But at least they have to make a choice while we're there. So how many people here are ready to try this? So you're going to have your partners just say, oh, I don't know about, trying something. I mean, I tried a lot of things in my life. It didn't work out. And I don't think I could learn because I tried learning in high school and that didn't work. And, everything's been bad in my life. My boss doesn't like me and my family doesn't respect me. And I'm a full-time loser. I want to fall on a sword. Would you hold a sword for me? So, I got to think it over, all these things, because it's so hard. And you say, relax. Tonight, you can make a decision to change your life once and for all, or you can make a decision to just complain about your life for the rest of your life. And just as simple as that, they're going to have to make that choice. So, are you ready? Yes. All right, so let's get the good-looking partner, dramatic pose. Oh, everything's terrible, right? I got to think it over. And let's see if we do a better job this time. Start complaining. Let's begin. Okay, how did that go? Now here's a question. I bet some of you saw that maybe a couple people didn't want to participate. They said, oh, I don't want to try it because, oh, it's so hard. I might be embarrassed. I don't want to try it now. So what are we going to say to them? You can make a decision to try it right now so you're comfortable when you leave here to start closing your prospects, or you can make a decision not to participate and to continue being a professional victim, hoping somebody gives you money. This is going to be fun with our children, isn't it? Now, there's a second way, And this talks to the subconscious mind, and it does a whole lot of cool things. And the subconscious mind runs on programs. The programs we're going to talk to in this particular close is to say, well, I want to make sure it's rejection-free. Is everybody okay with that? I don't like rejection. I'm a full-time coward. I don't like it at all. I think it's overrated. All right? And we want to show them that we have their best interest at heart, that we're worried about them. And we want to turn it into a giant hug-a-thon where they love us. And we want to give them choices so it doesn't look like we're trying to push them into a corner like one of these high-pressure salespeople. We're better than that. We're professionals. And we want them to have to make an immediate choice. No more I need to think it over. Plus a few other programs. And we can do this with 9 words. Now, for the folks that are brand new in network marketing here, in the skills section, attitude, motivation, and skills, in the skills section, skills is usually just learning sequences of words to say that does stuff automatically. Which means like putting your foot on the clutch is a pretty much automatic thing. Everything else just happens. So, let me ask you. So what's going to be easier for you, to learn 9 trained words to talk to all of these programs in their mind, or to continue going home the victim saying, oh, they wouldn't join, poor me. And so what's going to be easier for you, for me to tell you what these 9 words are, or for you to try to go out and do trial and error for 15 years and figure them out on your own? And so what's going to be easier for you, to write these 9 trained words down so you can use them over and over again, or try to remember them and maybe forget them and go home and not be able to do this? So what's going to be easier for you, to teach your downline these 9 trained words so you don't have to replace them so they have success, or to continue replacing your downline year after year and not really getting ahead? So what's going to be easier for you, to guess these 9 words that I'm using over and over again every sentence, or for me to continue saying, so what's going to be easier for you? So, what is going to be easier for you? 9 words. And they never know that you did it to them. Because you could say this like maybe 5 or 6 sentences in a row and nobody would even notice. So let's try this. So what's going to be easier for you, to give your children good nutrition so they never have to visit the doctor, so they can protect themselves from all the viruses and coughs at school, or for you to have to take off work and go home and take your child into an office with a bunch of other sick children and wait all day to have them treated? So what's going to be easier for you, to get your children to eat 20 servings of fruits and vegetables every day so they be healthy? Or maybe to add just some good supplementation to their diet because at least they can do that? So, what's going to be easier for you, to keep commuting to work hour after hour after hour every day, and buying chapstick by the case, lip gloss, because you have a full-time job kissing your boss's behind? Or to get started tonight in the business so maybe next year you can be your own boss? So what's going to be easier for you, to keep complaining every day here by the coffee machine how miserable this job is and how underpaid you are, or to come with me to a meeting tonight to see how you and I can change our life forever? All right. So what's going to be easier for you, to continue warehousing your children in daycare, paying other people big money to watch them grow up? Or to get started tonight so next year you can be home with your babies? So what's going to be easier for you, to continue commuting 2 hours to work Going to work 2 hours, coming back, fighting traffic all the time to a job you hate? Or to get started tonight, to start the countdown to firing your boss? So what's going to be easier for you, to continue making up problems and complaining about it, to hold yourself back from making this business work for you, or to simply step over those problems like a real leader and continue on realizing you can have a big business and be rich even if there's still problems? So what's going to be easier for you, to continue whining and complaining about things, or to just take a deep breath, get over it, and make a life work for you? So what's going to be easier for you? To give up all hope, keep going to work, and just wait to die? Or to sit down with my sponsor tomorrow and have him show you what he showed me that got me excited about life again? So what's going to be easier for you? To wake up every morning and say, man, it really hurts getting old? Or to start taking some good nutrition so you wake up every morning feeling like $1,000,000? So what's going to be easier for you? To continue listening to me do this over and over again, or for you to actually practice it once or twice with your partner? So y'all ready? Turn to your partner and just try a so what's going to be easier for you? Let's begin. Okay, are we getting better? So what's going to be easier for you? To buy a bunch of tickets to the next event so you're guaranteed a seat, or to wait and miss out on the chance of getting a seat and sitting at home wishing you were there? So what's going to be easier for you? To hurry up and get a ticket for the next event so you can learn more and earn more money, or to miss out on the chance and stay home wondering why you never get a paycheck? How many people here think even the toughest question on closing, which is I need to think it over, we could just handle just like that as a professional? And that's the difference between skills and unskilled. Now, how many people here know how to drive a car? All right, does it take skill to do that? Yeah. But if you didn't have skill, you're not going to drive that car, are you? You have to know things like the clutch stops the grinding sound. The brake is kind of convenient. The steering wheel is a pointing device. The ignition key does magic. The same in your business. If you're going to be an accountant, a doctor, engineer, every profession requires skills. And if you're sitting here today as part of the AIM Academy, think about this. You have to take this serious. You got to start learning the skills. You just can't stay being a victim saying, well, I showed up to the meeting, but nothing happened. No, we got to learn some skills to make it rock. So are you ready for the next skill? Yes. Now, this skill can be used from leadership to communication to presentations to closing. It covers them all. But this is the first of the 25 basic skills we like to teach people because it empowers them. It makes them feel that they know more than other people. It gives them confidence to talk to people. And they can talk to people like Vulcan mind meld. They can get their message inside the other person's mind just like that. And we can't do that when we start because we're missing some skills. And I'll prove it to you. When you're out there talking to people, the people you talk to here in the Philippines, do they want to live longer or die quickly? Some of you are still thinking, okay? And do they want more money in their life or less money? So you offer them a chance to live longer, you offer them a chance to have more money, and at the end of the presentation, they tell you no. Does that strike you as strange? Now, you know, if they believed you, they would do it. But maybe they didn't even hear your message. Maybe your message came right up their forehead, bounced off, tinkle, tinkle, tinkle to the floor. And that's usually what happens first. One of the first challenges we have is we don't know how to talk to people in a correct way so the message inside of our head gets inside of their head. And it's a skill that can be mastered very quickly. So let's get on with it. And I'm going to show you that the reason they don't understand is this. Now, I don't know how many of you speak German, but if I talked to you in German and I would have the best message in the world, I'm saying this is a great company and great founders and great products and a great time and a great income and a great compensation plan. If I'm talking to you in German, what's going to happen? We're not talking the same language, are we? So if I'm talking to you, it means whose responsibility is it to talk the correct language? Mine. So when you're talking to people, here's the news. People have inside their head 4 different languages. You only know one of them. That means 3 out of 4 people you talk to, you ruin just like that. Because they don't understand what you said because they understand a different language inside of their head. Does that make sense for everybody? So would you like to learn how to learn the other 3 languages very quickly? And here's the good news. You only have to learn 2 or 3 words in each language and you're pro. How awesome is that? So when you talk to people, they get it right away. And the problem is we don't know this when we start because, well, we don't know how to be a doctor when we start, do we? We don't know where to operate or who gets the anesthesia first, on our first day of medical school. So when we first start network marketing, we don't know about these 4 languages. Now, you have one of the languages inside your head. This is how you understand the world, how you understand business, how you understand products, how you understand conversations. But other people you talk to with the same language inside your head, when you talk to them, it's just so easy. They get it right away. But the other 3, they will turn you down, they will tell you no, because they don't even understand the words you say. So we're going to fix that right now. So are y'all ready? Yes. All right. Now there's only 4 languages. You know one of them, and it's your personality. You get it from the time you were born. You're born this way. It's how you see the world. And for each of these ways of seeing the world, there's not a good or bad. They're all equally good. Everything has good points and bad points, right? Out of all the 4 personalities, the 4 languages, each one has good points and bad points, except the one I am, that's only good points. Now, here's what I'd like you to write down. Just write down the word yellow. Let me explain yellow personalities. Are you ready? Yellow personalities, in this language, you only need to know one word. Help. H-E-L-P. Let me tell you about yellow people. They were born to help other people. They get happiness helping other people. They try to make everybody around them happy. If there's a funeral, they're the first ones to bring food to the funeral for these people. Yellow people are the nicest people in the world. They don't think about themselves. They don't worry about money. So when you talk to them about money, it just bounces off their forehead. They're not worried about travel. Bounce on. They're not worried about recognition. Bounce on. They're not worried about talking in front of people. Bounce off their forehead. Only thing they're worried about is helping other people. Now, I bet you have an aunt or somebody you know that whenever you go to her house, oh, here's some milk, here's some cookies, do you want a back rub? What can I do for you? How can I make you more comfortable? Anybody know somebody like that? Yeah, these are yellow personalities. I picture a yellow personality as a 50-year-old grandmother, long hair with flowers in her hair, kind of a hippie dress, serving cookies to the grandbaby, singing Kumbaya. That's how I picture it in my mind. But yellow people are like, you're going to see a lot of kindergarten school teachers, a lot of nurses, not all nurses, but a lot of nurses, maybe a massage therapist, maybe somebody does volunteer work, somebody just lives to help other people. That's their whole fulfillment. That's what they get out of life for their happiness. And anybody here ever see the cartoon The Simpsons? Well, the wife, Marge Simpson, she's yellow. She just cares about all the people in her family, how to make them happier. Yellow personality. Homer and them, they're not, okay? But Marge is a yellow personality. Now, when you meet a yellow person, maybe you have an aunt like this. She just comes up and gives somebody a big hug. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. And you feel like you've known her all your life. And you say, here's all my money. Total trust, total rapport. And everybody loves the yellow people. They're the nicest people in the world. Nobody hates them. They're just so lovable. And yellows, you could have a yellow personality, and they wouldn't make a great leader because they're just trying to make everybody in their downline successful. What can I do to help you? And you don't see them up in the front of the stage. They'll be in back saying, can I help with registration? Can I put out some extra chairs for people? Make sure that everybody feels good. Bring them some cookies. That's the yellow personality. Your aunt, she'll give somebody a big hug. Yellows are professional huggers. And then the next day, you'll get a little letter from them. Say, oh, thank you for being my friend. And when they sign their letter, they don't put a dot over the I. What do they put over the I? Little heart, a little flower, smiley face. Those are the yellow personalities. So when you talk to the yellows, it's not about the money. It's about the ability to help other people. Now, you haven't heard the other three personalities, but very quickly, you want to remember that the yellows will do almost anything to help other people within reason. You know, they're the ones that help with the funerals and love taking care of children. By a show of hands, how many people here, even though you don't know the other three, feel like maybe you might be a yellow personality? Raise your hand real high. All right, let's see, all right. Now, hold your hand real high. And I want everybody else to look at these people with their hands real high. These are yellow personalities that everybody loves. They'll do almost anything to help people. So during the break, ask them for a loan of 50,000 pesos. Oh, okay. Now, yellows make good leaders because they don't have any ego at all. It's all about helping the downline become successful. When you talk to a yellow personality, do you think your presentation might want to be a little bit different? Oh, yeah. How about inviting a yellow personality to a meeting? I'll give you a little script that I like to use. And is it okay if I over-exaggerate this so it makes it easy to remember? All right, so it's an over-exaggeration. Not everybody's going to be 100% yellow. But if I'm talking to a yellow, I might say this. Oh, we have a meeting tomorrow night. Would you please come? We need your help. We have some products that make children healthier so they don't miss school so much and they don't get all the viruses that go around. And when we help people live longer so they can see their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren get married. And we try to make people healthier so later on in life they don't have to take a lot of prescription drugs because, you know, the evil pharmaceutical companies, and it's just so terrible. So we just try to help them to make them feel better and have happiness and maybe a better family experience. And would you please come to our meeting tomorrow night? Because we need to share the world and help the world know about this. And could you bring some refreshments? And I just need just one more person to win the secret ribbon of helpfulness. Would you please come and be my person? Now, if you're a yellow personality, what do you think the yellows are going to say? Yes, every time. Now, if this did not feel good to you, didn't resonate with you, you say, oh man, I just want to throw up. If you felt like that, that just means you're one of the other three colors, right? But this is the language they understand. It's not about what you are. It's what about the person you're talking to is. So if you find somebody who's a yellow, you're not going to be talking about, oh, you can make big bonus checks and you can be number one in your neighborhood and crush the competition. And no, they don't like that. Oh, we should all share equally. All right. Do we all get this? So what we want to do is, when you first meet somebody, instantly recognize, that might be a yellow person. And if they are, let's talk to them in the yellow language. And if you can't think of what to say, just throw the word in help every time you have, right? And they'll be happy. So are you ready? I want the good-looking partner to pretend to be yellow. So here's what you're going to do. And the other person, you're going to invite them to your meeting to learn about your opportunity, right? But you're going to invite them in the yellow language by saying, would you please come? We need your help. We have some products that help children be healthier, so they learn better in school. And because they have a healthier complexion, they won't be embarrassed when they go as a teenager. And we help grandmothers be healthier so they can help with their grandchildren, see their great-grandchildren be married. And we make people happy because we have a nice community together. It's so great. And would you please come? We need your help. Could you bring some refreshments? And I only need one more person to win the secret ribbon of healthiness. Would you please come? Are y'all ready? All right, so one person, pretend to be yellow. Let's begin. Okay, was that pretty easy? Yellows don't like to stand out. They like to be part of a team. I like to support what's going on. And the problem, though, with yellows, there's good points. Here's the bad point. They don't like making decisions because they don't want to force their will on other people. So you get 12 yellows in a room with a meeting, and one yellow says, well, it's time for lunch. Where should we eat? The next yellow says, well, I'll eat where you want to eat. And the next yellow says, I'll eat where everybody else wants to eat. And they're going to starve. Nobody's going to make a decision. So when you're the yellow, you just pretty much have to tell them what to do to make you happy. And they'll say, if I'll make you happy, yes. So, ready for the next color? All right. Now, if you are a yellow, you talk in this language naturally. So when you talk to another yellow, easy. But if you are yellow and you talk to somebody of the other three languages, they don't get it. They don't understand. And they don't come and you have no idea why. Well, I hugged them and they still didn't want to come. Well, because they didn't want to be hugged, okay? So the next color is blue. Now, blue you can describe in one word: party. Blues love to party. They love to have fun. They're all about excitement. They're motivated from the moment they wake up in the morning. They like to travel. They try new things. They love being around people. And they are the easiest of all the colors to recognize because they are always talking. They talk from the moment they wake up all the way through lunch. They even talk in their sleep. They talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And, you know, they start a story. It never ends. Never has a point. They just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. How many people here know somebody that talks a lot? All right. If somebody's always talking, there's a good chance they could be blue. Now, I have a leader on my team who's blue. His name is Michael. Now, the reason the blues talk is their minds are going 100 kilometers an hour in 100 different directions at the same time. They don't focus on anything. They're just action, action, action. And remember, these are action people. Now, my friend Michael, he's a blue. When we go out sponsoring together, I drive, he talks. And he talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. But when he drives, he still talks and talks and talks, but he considers rules of the road only a suggestion. All right? So it's always exciting when he drives. And when he sits down with the prospect, he does all the talking. You know, the prospect doesn't have to say anything. He just talks and talks and talks at him. He wakes up in the morning, he gets on the phone, and he'll be on the phone all day, sponsoring people, doing trainings, doing three-way calls, looking for new prospects. And he just talks and talks and talks. But his wife, Linda, she's yellow. So when he's talking all day, she's going by, oh, do you want a soda, dear? Can I make you a sandwich? A little back rub? Yeah, what can I do? Linda does all the work. Michael just talks. Linda does all the follow-up. She gives catalogs to people. She does she follows up. Blues never follow up people because blues love meeting new people. And they have no time to follow up old people because they're too busy meeting new people. And this is good for you because blues will bring the most people on your team. They'll bring the most people to fun conventions and parties. They're people, but they will never follow up. So make sure if you have a blue on your team that somebody's helping them follow up, or else all those people will be lost. A blue goes to an opportunity meeting. Halfway through the opportunity meeting, the blue jumps up out of their seat. They run outside. They just got to talk. And they meet a stranger in the hallway, and here's what the blue says. Oh, man, this is going to be great. This is the most fantastic opportunity I ever saw. It's just so exciting. You got to join now. I can't remember the name of the company. I don't even know what they do, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to travel together, going to winter trip to America. It's going to be great, great, great. And that's the blues. They are instant action, and they don't need any facts. These are people that join and can't even remember the name of the company. If a blue comes to Metro Manila, the first thing you say, let's go see how bad the traffic is. Let's go have a party. Well, we're going to go out tonight. Let's meet some new people. Is there something fun we can do? They're just action, action, action. Blues will take action and go out talking to people. Nothing like rejection them. They just talk. If you get on an elevator and there's a stranger on the elevator with you and they just start talking to you, here's what we did last night and here's how we came here to, that's a blue. Blues talk and talk. Some examples of blues is if you can think of SpongeBob SquarePants. All right. Fun, fun, fun. Or Bugs Bunny. Fun, 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 fun. Blue personality. They love parties, trying new things, short attention span. And I don't know if you have examples of blues here. I don't know if you noticed. I'm not Filipino. But you probably have some celebrities here, right? I heard stories last time I was here about Manny Pacquiao's mom. And maybe she's a little bit blue. I don't know. But blues wear outlandish clothing. They're just ready to party. And they are the best recruiters, the best promoters. You announce there's going to be a trip to America. I mean, they are off already trying to qualify. They don't even know what the qualifications are. That's the blue. So, do blues make great leaders? Yeah, they're fun to be around. They always bring new people to the team. Maybe they don't follow up. It's the downside. But they love it. So, my question to you is, how many people here know a blue person in your life? Now, if they're blue, they're always talking. If they're always talking, what's the downside? They're never listening. Just remember that. So don't waste your time talking to them. They're not listening. They're just thinking about the next thing they're going to say. But if you get a blue, well, if I was going to go to Davao And I said, I want to meet a lot of new people. I'll get a blue person and say, just make a whole bunch of appointments and we're off and running. They don't mind talking to strangers. Now, you haven't heard the other two colors, but just quickly here, how many people here in this room think maybe, just maybe, you might be a blue personality? All right. Nobody, 3 people. All right, that's a record. Normally, nobody raises their hand because they're not listening. All right. Oh. So how do you talk to a blue personality to invite them to your meeting? Well, I'm going to give you some words. You'll pick up those words when I do my invitation, so you'll be able to speak the blue language. By the way, was the yellow language too hard? What was the word? You got it. You're a professional. All right, here's the blues. Here's how you invite a blue to a meeting. First of all, you look at them, talking, and when they take a breath and take a sip out of their Coke, you talk fast. Now, it doesn't matter what you say. They're not even listening, but just look excited when you're talking. That's all they care about. So here's some words that I like to use. I like to say, we have a meeting tomorrow night. It's going to be so exciting. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to meet lots of new people. You're going to have a chance to talk to people before the meeting, during the meeting, for hours after the meeting. And we have fun conventions like this, and we have a chance to travel, and the next chance is going to be the United States, and they're going to get a 747. We're going to load it up with all our distributors, and they're going to have a barrel of beer in the middle of the aisle so we can sing karaoke and drink beer on the way over. And when we get over there, we're going to have meetings and sightseeing all day long. We're going to party all night. We're going to stay awake for 72 straight hours. We're going to have so much fun. And you got to hurry up and join because I need a roommate here, and you don't want to be left behind. And the blues like, where do I sign? That's all they need to know. They don't even need to know the name of the company. They just want to have fun. So the words are exciting, fun, meeting lots of new people, chance to talk. That's all they want to hear. And when you say that, you'll get about 100% of the blues to show up to your meeting. But see, if you would have talked to them in yellow, they wouldn't even have heard you. But you have to talk fast because they think fast. Now, I did this little demo walking down the street in London. I says, watch this, because me and another distributor are walking next to this blue guy. And you can, well, it's easy to tell he was blah, 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 talking about nothing. So I just turned to him and I said very quickly, we got this great business. You got to join us because it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some trips. The guy said, yeah. It was just that easy. So when you're at the blues, they don't need the facts. What they need is fun, excitement, chance to talk to people. So I'll do this again, then it's your turn to invite the blues. So it's going to say, we have a meeting tomorrow night. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so exciting. Meet lots of new people. You can talk to people before the meeting, during the meeting, hours after the meeting. You have this great trip coming up. You want to sing karaoke, stay awake the whole time. We're going to have enough fun and fly. That's all you have to do. But you got to do it fast and with excitement. And remember, they're not really listening, but if you're talking and just looking excited, that's all you really need to do. So are you ready? So here's what we're going to do. This time, the good-looking partner is going to pretend to be blue, which is looking all over, short attention span, right? And you got to talk really fast. Are you ready? So let's invite them to the meeting. Let's begin. All right, how did that go? Are we ready for the next color? Are the blues easy to understand? So when you sit down with the blue, don't say we have this long presentation with lots of facts. They're going to finish like 5 beers before you even get started. You know, they just want to have fun. So the next color is red. Now the reds are all about power, being the boss. They love telling other people what to do. And they are great organizers. They're champion organizers. Now, the blues have the most fun, but the reds make the most money because they're great organizers. They love to be the boss. So think about politicians. Elect me so I can tell you what to do. That's red. So red personalities, they like getting people organized, telling them what to do. They are bottom line people. They want to make sure the job gets done. Now, if you wanted a CEO of a company, would you want a yellow? Oh, let's give all the money to poor people. I don't think that'd work. Would you want a blue for your CEO? Woo! 365 days of holidays. Yes, no, may not work. You might want to have a red, right? Yeah, somebody can organize, get the job done, so bonus checks would actually go out. So the reds are bottom line people. Bottom line, let's get the job done. Now, I'll do some exaggeration here to help you remember the red personality. My wife is red. And now reds normally aren't the best listeners. And the reason the reds wouldn't listen is they already have all the best ideas. Why would they listen to a stupid little opinion of a blue or a yellow? They've already thought it out. They already have it organized. And the rest of the people just form the idea of their mind. So when you're talking to a red personality and you're out recruiting, remember this. They're going to want to do it their way. They're not going to be listening to you. They want to have all the right answers. Now, every red I have ever met thinks they're yellow. We know better. So you talk about red, they say, I'm just trying to help these poor losers, telling them what to do. But every red thinks they're yellow. No, they're red. They're the organizers. They're going to get things done. So the reds have to be in charge. And if you didn't have a red, think about those 12 yellows in the room, right? They need a red to come in there and say, just shut up. We're going over here to eat at Jollibee and get it over with. Yeah, 15 minutes, get back. And all the yellows go, oh, thank you, we can eat finally. So the reds are not listening. What motivates these people? Well, number one, money, bottom line results. You can tell you're talking to a red. If you're talking to a red, they're going to say, all right, how many people do I have to recruit to make 1,000 pesos? That's red, bottom line. Would a blue ask that question? I don't think so. Would a yellow ask that question? No, they're not about money. But the reds are bottom line people. Say, this is a business. We got to make it work. People depend on us. This is what you have to do. So the reds, their main motivation when you talk to red personalities out there are going to be things like recognition, money. Let me show you the difference. Reds like competition. They like to be number one. Normally, reds are never wrong. They'll tell you that. But they like to be number one. So if there's a competition and the red wins it, they're going to call up number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and say, hey, loser, look where I am. Because they like to win. Or how about this? They would like recognition, like getting a trophy. So let me exaggerate here. I'm going to exaggerate how the 3 colors get a trophy. Are you ready? So the red will come up and say, thank you for the trophy. I worked hard, I deserve it, and you're all losers. I'm number one. All right, they're excited, right? How would a yellow get that trophy? I don't deserve this. Let's give it to Susan. She has a sick kitten at home. How would a blue get a trophy? Woohoo! It reminds me of a trophy that, oh wait, my aunt called me last night. She was the one that went to Hong Kong. They had little drinks in the plane. They had little umbrellas on there. And then we picked some oranges there. It wasn't different like that in Florida. And they're off on another. That's a blue. So the simple fact of getting a trophy means three different things in the three different languages. Somebody, and you say the word trophy or presentation or product or opportunity, it means three different things depending on who you're talking to. So if you're talking to a red and you say opportunity, they say, here's my chance to exceed. Here's my chance to do a great job. Here's my chance to be number one. I can finally get the recognition I deserve. I'm tired of working for somebody else. That's what they want. So would you like to hear a little invitation to a red? But first of all, how many people here in this room think maybe you might be a red personality? You can tell how they are. You know, my hand's up straight. I'm red. I'm number one. We don't need those other three stupid colors. All right. So that's the reds. Here's how I would invite a red to a meeting. Now, this is exaggerated, but it'll help you remember. Are you ready? I would say to a red, we have a meeting tomorrow night. Be there. We're talking money. Big money. Huge amounts of money. Not that little money from a job, but the huge amount of having your own business. Here's your chance to fire the boss. Be your own boss. Have your own organization. Tell them what to do. And finally get the recognition you deserve. And get those huge bonus checks so you can buy that red Ferrari you always wanted, so you could drive back to where you used to work and leave rubber marks all up and down the company parking lot with your Ferrari, roll down the window and say goodbye, losers. And the reds say, I'm in the front row. I'm there. Number one. And they're going to be there early. They're not going to wait. They're there to be number one. So most of the time when you see high achievers, they are red personalities because the blues can't focus that long. And the yellows don't want to. They want to support. So how many people here have a pretty good idea that reds see things different? So are you ready? I'm going to ask you to turn to your partner, and your partner's going to pretend to be red. You're going to fold your arms and say, just give me the bottom line. All right? And let's invite him to a meeting. Okay, how'd that one go? When you're talking to a red, they say, skip all that stuff. Let's just get to the point. Now, these are all exaggerated, right? Everybody might have a little bit of each color, but there's usually one color that sticks out. So you ready for the last color? Now, all the colors have good points and bad points. For instance, well, they all do except the last color, because the last color is green. It's only good points because I'm a green. Aw. All right, let me tell you about the green personality. Green personalities are the boring people. These are the engineers, the accountants, the computer IT nerds. These are boring people, personality free, charisma bypassed, socially challenged, should not be let out in public. And we are more comfortable with a book or a computer in a corner than talking to people. We find it difficult to talk to people. And at parties, have you ever seen a green personality dance? Ever seen an engineer dance? It's kind of mechanical. They say, well, lift right foot 3.4 centimeters, shift weight 62%, a 90-degree arc, repeat with foot number. It's awful. All right. But greens are different. Yellows are about helping people. Blues are about having fun. Reds want to be number one. It's all about the money, right? Bottom line, getting the job done. But the greens are all about information. And these people will drive you crazy. You give them a presentation, and here's what they say. You give them the longest presentation. They ask all these questions. 3 hours later, the green says, thank you for your preliminary information. I'll spend 3 weeks on the internet. I'll make a spreadsheet of all the possible benefits, and I'll get back to you in 3.4 weeks. That's the green. Greens, we are afraid of making up our mind because we don't want to be wrong. So we're going to wait forever. And we ask all the stupid questions. Well, you know, when they pick that secret ingredient underneath a rock in China at midnight with leprechauns, did they stop it with the left foot or right foot before they processed it? We don't want to know these stupid things. So while the blues are the action people, the greens are the non-action people. They take forever to get started. And they say, well, before I start, I need to redo the flip chart, and I'll rewrite the brochure. And they're so frustrating because you call up a green, and you say, hey, you've been in 6 months already. Just talk to somebody. And the green says, well, I haven't translated everything into Chinese yet, just in case the first person I talk to knows Chinese. We will do everything to avoid getting started because that means we'd have to talk to a live human being. How many people here know somebody a little bit green? They avoid people, they study, they research, they'll come to every conference here, but never sponsor anybody because that would involve live people. And we're good with books. Now, I'm a green, but I understand I have to learn to talk in the other three colors. Now, my wife is red, so I'm at home on the internet. She comes in and says, all right, dear, hurry up and get dressed. We've got to go to a party. She's red. Come on, hurry up. You've got to be on time. And I'm thinking, oh. But fortunately, I know how to speak red. So here's what I tell my wife. You know, that party's not very well organized. Somebody has to be in charge. Kaboom! She's off to be in charge, and I spend all night on the internet. So you have to learn to speak the other colors. So if a doorknob fell off in your home, a green would spend 3 weeks writing a prevention manual. And then, shopping for doorknobs on the internet for 6 months. And then order, a couple thousand pesos worth of power tools. And 1 year later, the doorknob gets back on. But it's going to be a good doorknob. But they're boring. A good example would be Mr. Spock. Right? So Mr. Spock is green from the Star Trek. He's information, no emotion. Quite different than a red. A red might be somebody like Donald Trump. We have him in the United States. All he likes to do is say, you're fired, right? He's very red. He's just to the point. That wasn't good enough. You're fired. We're going to need the job done. And the greens, once they've researched and joined your company, they're going to stay with it a long time because they researched every other possible option. There's no other option. Now, here's how a green joins. You give them a presentation, they say, I'll get back to you in 3.4 weeks. So you call them back in 3.4 weeks, and the green says, oh, I'm so sorry. I finished my research 23 hours early. So I logged on the internet, hacked into the company computer, gave myself a cool ID number, 007, and I signed myself up. They don't need to be sold. They just need to have all the information where they feel comfortable. So the question is, how many greens do we have here besides me? And for us, it's hard to get started. It's hard to talk to people. And we're not comfortable coming to an opportunity meeting where some blue or red salesman's going to sell us something. So, would you like to hear how to invite a green to an opportunity meeting? So here's what they're going to say. We have an opportunity meeting tomorrow night. Would you please come? We need your opinion. Okay. We're going to sit way in the back of the room where nobody's going to bother us. Nobody's going to ask us to join or buy anything. And bring a huge notebook because there'll be lots of information. Or if you have an iPad, bring an external hard drive. There'll be a lot of information. And hopefully, at the end of the meeting, we'll have enough information to begin our preliminary research. And the green says, okay, I can come to that. And we'll feel comfortable. Because it's not about us having to make a quick decision. We can research. And just using those words will let all the greens come. Now, if you're talking to, are there any doctors that might be green? Yeah, some doctors are red, some are green. But if you say, if I'm talking to a red doctor, maybe I might be talking more about the opportunity and the career and how I can leave the profession and have more influence over people. But if you're talking to a green doctor, it might be how to come and do the research and see the changes that we're making. If you're talking to a yellow doctor, how we can help more people. You can build an organization of 10,000 people. It can reach more people than you can ever do in your practice. There's no blue doctors. Well, I mean, would you really want a blue doctor? Hey, brain surgery sounds like fun. Never done this before. But if you, now these are all, of course, exaggerated, but let's do a very quick thing here. Let's quickly invite our green partner. And if you're a green partner, just sit there and stare blankly into space like a boring green. And all you're going to say is, please come tomorrow night. We're going to sit, way in the back of the room. Just need your opinion. Bring a notebook. You know how it goes. Everybody ready? Invite your green partner. Let's begin. Okay, and now we have the 4 color personalities and the 4 languages. Here's a test. If you had a company, or if you worked for a company, or you were associated with a company, what color personality would you want to be taking care of all the computer programming? Yeah. How about customer service, helping people with their problems? Who do you want to be management and CEO and organize this? Who would you want to be in charge of entertainment and fun at the conventions? Yeah. So we all have a place, right? It's not that one color is better than the other, and we all have good and bad points, and these are exaggerated, not every green or every red's going to have all these good and bad points. It's just a way of remembering. So we all okay with that? There's the language is easy, isn't it? The language, anybody can do that. You can remember help or fun or exciting or bottom line money or recognition. Or you can remember greens or, oh wait, would you like to see how a green gets a trophy? Just to show you the difference. All right, how did the yellow get the trophy? Ooh, I don't deserve it. Oh, it's for me. Oh. All right. How did the blue get the trophy? Woo-hoo! All right. How did the red get a trophy? I'm number one, you're all losers. And greens? We never get trophies because we never get started in time. So you don't have to worry about that. But all have a place in your meetings, in your organization, your business. All make great leaders. They just do it differently. But if you are going to recruit people, do you think you might want to know this? Otherwise, you're going to ruin 75% of the people. You'll ruin 3 out of 4 people from the moment you open your mouth. And when you build a team, do you think your team might want to leave you if you're red and they're kind of yellow and they feel bad? So we have to remember when we talk to different people in the team, we have to talk to them differently, or else we push them away from our business. So we're going to do a little experiment here. Understanding the language, easy. That's not the hard part. The hard part is picking out their color. And you only have a few seconds to kind of do this. When you sit down with them, you just very quickly say, all right, what color are they? So if you sit down with a prospect, and the prospect says, oh, have a chair. Does that feel good enough? Can I fluff the pillow for you? Do you need a back massage? Cookies, tea, coffee? What would you like? Maybe a soda? What? Yeah, so we're going to talk about the help part. And maybe not so much about the business, or maybe not so much about the money, but maybe how the business can help people expand their lives and maybe stay home with their children. Wouldn't that be kind of nice? When you sit down with somebody and they're not paying attention, they're talking to you 100 miles an hour, and they have the TV going on while they're texting and they're driving, drinking a cup of coffee, put it on, blue. So when you sit down with them, do you think they're going to sit there through a whole flip chart presentation? No. You're just going to have to get right to it and says, man, this is the most fun business in the world. Are you in or are you out? That's about all they need to know. You sit down with somebody and you say, just get to the point, don't waste my time. Red. All right, they want to achieve things. They don't want to sit there chit-chat. And you sit down with somebody and you say, this is about the most boring individual I've ever met. Green. You know that maybe you're going to have to talk information until they're more comfortable. So we just have to look for tendencies. Now we're going to do a test here. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to stand up because y'all been sitting for a while, and I'm going to ask you to stand up and maybe turn around to the person in front of you, back you. You're going to have a little conversation. I'm going to give you about 1 minute for this conversation, maybe a minute and a half, that's all. And at the end of the conversation, I'm going to ask you, what do you think your partner was? What color? So you can talk about anything you want, the pets, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just have a little conversation with somebody you don't know. Are we all kind of clear on that? Now, before we do this, I know the question in your mind is, well, what do I look for? How do I know what color they're going to be? Well, let me give you some hints. If your partner, when you turn around to them, says, here's some cookies, you talk first, that would be A. If you turn around to your partner, they're already talking, that would be A. If you turn around to your partner and they say, let me tell you what color you are, that would be A. If you turn around to your partner and says, I don't want to stand up, I'm going to sit down and fold my arms, I don't want to participate, I didn't come from, it'd be green. So that'd be kind of a hint. So y'all ready? Let's everybody stand up, that's unsit, and turn around and find somebody next to you that you don't really know very well, have a little 1.5 minute conversation. Let's see what color they may be. Let's begin. All right, let's have a seat here. Let's see how we did. Would all the blues please stop talking? Would all the reds release your hostages? Yellow, stop hugging. All right. Number one, was that easy to talk to people? Now, let me show you what happened. You probably had the most fun, rejection-free conversation you've ever had because you were interested in the other person. And they feel this. They pick up your vibes. If you just did this every day, you met one person and said, I'm just going to try to find out what color they are and have a little conversation just for practice. At the end of the year, how many people would you have met that's brand new in your life? 365. And I'm going to tell you this. Even if you don't mention the business or nothing, just had that little conversation with 365 people. At the end of the year, you're probably going to have 15 or 20 of them join your business just because the conversation was so awesome. And here is how even us greens can sponsor people. All we do is try to find out what color they are because there's no rejection. They love talking about themselves. And people join friends, people they like. Now, by the way, by a show of hands, how many people here was able to figure out what color your partner was? All right. Now, if you didn't, let me tell you my results. I can only pick it out about 50% of the time. You know, when I see a little 3-year-old kid moonwalking in the mall, I say, all right, there's a blue baby that's going to torture their parents for the next 17 years. Be a discipline problem. But I can only pick it out 50% of the time. You know, a lot of people are a little bit of one, a little bit of other. You know, some people say, well, I'm blue with a little bit of yellow, right? And other people say, well, I'm yellow, but maybe I'm blue because I feel blue ascending on the horizon. No, you're yellow, all right? Some people say I'm a little bit of all the colors. I say, no, you're psychotic, all right? But usually people are one color with a little bit of another, which means if they're blue and yellow, you could talk to them either blue or yellow and be okay. There's 2 languages they understand. So I only pick it out 50% of the time, just the obvious ones. I'm not very good engineer. But the 50% I pick out is just like that. Instantly, with a couple words, we're bonded distributor. Now, the 50% I don't know, I just do a regular presentation and hope for the best, which is what I was doing before, right? But what would happen if 50% of the people you talk to said, yeah, I get it, that's why I should be a member? Do you think that'd be pretty awesome? And all you have to do is figure out their color. And that's the only reason they're not joining is they're not even hearing the message. So let me show you how it all goes wrong and see if this looks familiar to anybody here. If you don't know this, it's going to be a little bit hard to close. Because what are you going to say to the yellow? Well, if you're professional about this with skills to the yellow, you're going to say, so, you know, the yellow says, well, I don't know if I don't want to call my friends and build a group and all, I feel uncomfortable talking to them. You say, so what's going to be easier for you? To call your friends, so we have a meeting at your home tomorrow night, so I have a lot of your friends, so we can spread this message and help all the suffering families and the children out there and make a difference in this world, or for you to keep it a secret and just let them to continue suffering day after day after day. So was it important to know what color they are before you close? Yeah. What would you say to a blue or a red? You're going to give them choices within their color, and they get it. For those that don't know this, let me show you how miserable my career was when I didn't know this. Let me give you an example. Can you imagine a green personality giving a presentation to a blue? After I read the rules and regulations, and I started going through the product list and reading the description of every product and talking about every ingredient, the blue is ready to poke their eyes out, jump off a cliff, fall on a sword. The blue gave up a long time ago. The blue says, just kill me now. This is terrible. Green's talking to blues. I have to talk to them in the blue language, which means mumble something but do it quick. But can you imagine what would happen if a blue personality was giving a presentation to a green? All right, so I'm here with my pencil for the facts, and here's the blue. Let me tell you about the company. Well, it reminds me when company came over, they looked at the wallpaper, and we were having this flight, going over to Hong Kong, the little umbrellas and the drinks there. And my aunt, she was a fourth, well, actually, she was a twice removed aunt. But we had this class that went to, what's the green thinking? Give these people some tranquilizers or something, some Valium. What's going on? And the green will never join, not because the company's not good, but because we talked to them in the wrong language. I want you to imagine a yellow talking to a red. All right. So the yellow says, oh, please come to our meeting. Well, it's not a real meeting. We sit in a semicircle. Everybody's equal. And after the cookie giving ceremony, we have the group hug and we sing the company song. And what are the reds thinking? Exterminate these people. They're using valuable oxygen. And that's why it's hard for yellows to sponsor a red, because they talk to them in the wrong language. All right, I'll do this, but it's not going to be pretty. A red talking to a yellow. Are you ready? Give me all your money, then I'll tell you what it's about. Oh, okay. All right. Can I give you more if it makes you happy? Sure. Okay. Now, remember, these are all exaggerations just to help us remember. But you have to be aware when you talk to people that you have to be in sync with the language they understand. Now, you're the leaders, right? Let's use this when we try to motivate people. Do you think that the 4 different colors have maybe different ideas toward motivation? Oh, yeah. So let's try this. How are you going to motivate a yellow? So we have this contest where you can make an extra 3,000 peso bonus. Not going to do it, is it? They don't see the world like that. But what I find with the yellows is if there's saying, we're going to do fundraising this week to help poor dogs find their lost fathers. And the yellow does it well. In that case, I'll go out and talk to all kind of strangers to try to raise money, and and all the profits from our sales of our product, our retail profit, we're going to donate to Find the Dog's Lost Paw Fund. So they're going to work hard just for that because it's a fundraising to make a difference. Do you think the red would, or the green? No. Or the blue? No. But for the yellows, that would motivate them. So just the chance to help somebody, they go out of their shell and do things they wouldn't normally do. How about blues? What motivates the blues? Well, when the company announces a trip, they are high as a kite. They're thinking, oh, man, awesome, great. I'm sure there were some rules or regulations or quotas, but I'm too busy out here talking to more people. They love this. Anytime you announce a trip, the blues are all over that. Man, we are 100% behind it. They are so excited. And they like meetings like this because they meet a lot of new people, don't they? Or if there's a picnic for your group or a get-together, the blues are so excited about that. What do you think motivates the reds? Yeah, money, recognition, right? Being number one, a sense of competition. So that's why reds normally win the big races. Because if the yellow is winning right before the finish line, the yellow says, well, it'd be better if I let somebody else win. They'd feel happier. But the reds are easy to motivate. For all the reds here, you're not going to like this. I'll just tell you up front. But how many people here would like to know how to motivate a red to do almost anything you want? How to push a red button right in the middle of their forehead. How to get them to say, I'm going to do this right now. Would that be pretty cool? Now, the reds don't like this, but once you hear it, you're going to use it on the other reds. So here's how you motivate a red, or one of the many ways. If you're taking notes, I'd like you to write this down. The first thing you do to a red is give them a compliment. And the red says, well, I deserve that. Step number 2, give the red another compliment. Well, the red says, man, you're really intelligent. You recognize my greatness. Step number 3, challenge. Tell the red there's something they can't do. Reds love challenges. So when you're talking to a red and you want to motivate the red, you tell them a compliment, tell them another compliment, and then just give them a small challenge, and they're motivated. It's like a giant red button right in the middle of their forehead you can push anytime you want. And that's what us greens do for entertainment. So let me give you an idea. So if I'm talking to a red person over here, I might say, you are the best recruiter on my team. Compliment. And you know more people in Metro Manila than almost anybody else I know. Wow. But last month, Anna sponsored 15 new distributors, and I'm not sure you could ever break her record. What's going to happen? Anna's going down. I'm going to have 16, 18. I'm going to bury Anna. Just like that, because there's a challenge. Reds love challenges. Greens like books. All right, so let's try this. You talk to another red and say, you're one of the hardest working people on my team. Compliment. And you know the skills, the 25 skills, the inviting scripts better than anybody else I know. But last meeting, Anna brought 7 guests with her. And I'm not ever sure you could do quite that many. Anna's going down. They're going to have a van full of people. They're going to handcuff their relatives. They're going to bring them all down to set the new records. Reds love challenges. And like I said, this is what us greens do for fun. It's always just push that little red button. And you can do it over and over. And the reds know that you're doing it to them. But there's nothing they can do about it. There's no defense. Now, here's my question. How do you motivate the greens? Correct. You don't. Give it up. Pretty much a waste of time. Now, I want everybody here to remember that you and I are maybe a little bit about everything. I'm 100% green. But most people have one color that sticks out more than others. So by a show of hands, how many people here know what color you are? If you don't know what color you are, all your friends do. Just ask them. They'll tell you. I was sitting down with my wife, who's red, at dinner one night, and I had a friend sit down with us, and I said to my friend, my wife's red, and she turned to me and says, don't you dare tell him I'm red. All right, she's red. So if you don't know what color you are, let me help you another way. People have to do jobs sometimes of a different color than they are. They get a job as customer service, they're yellow, they help people, they're awesome at it, so they make them the manager, and now they have to fire people. That's a red job, isn't it? And the yellow's not going to be happy. And the yellow hates their job. And one of the biggest reasons for job dissatisfaction with people is they're stuck in a job of a different color than what they are personally. So don't let your job color interfere with who you are personally. Just think about your internal color. I want you to think of a blue personality as your accountant. Could you see that one? Ooh, numbers don't add up. Let's have another beer. Or would you want you make fun of the greens, but next time you cross a bridge, do you want it built by a blue? No, the bridge's not even over there. Put another beer can under it. It's not going to look good, is it? All right? So we all have talents that we should use. But if you're confused, let me tell you that the outgoing colors are the blue and the reds. By a show of hands, how many people here are a little bit more outgoing? So if you raise your hand, that means you're either a blue or a red. And you say, well, how do I know if I'm outgoing, if I'm a blue or red? Well, if you're already talking, you're a blue. And the reds already know they're the best color, so that's no problem. I would ask for a show of hands for the quieter people, but they never raise their hand. So what are the two quieter colors? Yellow and green. So if people are maybe not as outgoing, a little bit shyer, a little more quiet, they're probably a green or a yellow. So how do you know if you're green or yellow? There's a couple quick tests you can take. Number one, check for a personality. If you have one, you're yellow. And the other one is give somebody a hug, because the greens are the anti-huggers. No one has ever taken a picture of two greens hugging ever in the wild. So the greens are the anti-huggers, the yellows are professional huggers. How do blues feel about hugging? Woohoo, sounds like fun. How do reds feel about hugging? How much would I get paid for it? Right? But if the quieter ones are going to be either a yellow or a green, and you can kind of pick that up by just observing. So if you don't know what color you are, that should help you, but it doesn't matter what color you are. Who does it matter? The people you're talking to, and it's our responsibility to talk to them in their color. So I want you to imagine you're talking to a blue. And if you had to close a blue because they say, well, I don't know, because I have like 14 other projects I got to do tomorrow, and I have 3 television shows I have to watch at the same time right now, and I got to be texting my friends. And you might say, so what's going to be easier for you, right? And because they're blue, what are blues like? Fun, excitement, talking to people. So what's going to be easier for you? To continue working that boring job, moving paper from one side of the desk to another for the rest of your life, hating every moment? Or to get started right now so you have a fun, exciting career, talking to people, having fun, going with us on our trips, sending postcards to your friend, and having the time of your life. And just like that, they get it. Now, we have a break coming up, and during the break, I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to observe people. And what's probably going to happen is you're going to do this for the rest of your life. I love going to the mall because I can just watch people and pick out what color. But during the break, I'd like you to maybe meet somebody you don't know and try to figure out what color they are. Could you all do that? Just meet somebody you don't know. Now, if you're a yellow, that shouldn't be too hard because you want to do it because it'll make the other people feel good when you talk to them, right? If you're blue, meeting somebody during the break, that's natural, isn't it? Somebody brand new to listen to you talk forever. If you're red, I know if all the reds here, I'll meet people during the break. I'll meet somebody during the break. In the first 15 seconds, I'll be the first one to have it done. I'll know it right away. And if you're green during the break, you don't actually have to meet and talk to somebody. I just want you to maybe look at them from far away. But during the break, could we all practice this? Because if you know what personality they are, you're going to increase your production 4 times. So whatever your check is right now, you've been killing off 3/4 of it by not knowing what color personality they are. But knowing this will make closing easier, prospecting easier, presentations easier. How many people here are ready for a break? So what we're going to do is, I don't know exactly how long the break, they're going to announce it, but when we come back from break, we're going to learn some skills. Now that we have the color thing out of the way, some of the other skills we need to learn. And how many people here want to be a very, very, very top pro in this business? So that means we're not going to take notes, we're actually going to do this during the break. And during the break, I think they mentioned earlier, I took all my 40-some years experience and put it all on CDs, and now we put them on a thumb drive for you. So if you'd like to learn the skills by audio, that's an excellent way, because that way the greens could take notes. Right? Yellows can share with their downline. Reds can make the biggest bonus checks. It's going to take 2 people to carry it to the bank. And the blues can have a lot more fun by meeting more people. You could use this for anything, couldn't you? So watch out for those people that are holding the door open for you during the break, because what color are they? Yellow, right? And you're going to notice this. I'll see you all right after break as we learn more skills. Thank you very much.
Yes, how about a big hand for Big Al? Palakpakan naman natin!